Thanks for joining us. In order to support us to produce Clancy's Kitchen, you can donate as little as €5 or $5 a month and gain access to exclusive content. Just go to www.patreon.com/Clancy's Kitchen. That's www.patreon.com/Clancy's Kitchen. Enjoy the podcast. Fáilte Rash, Croeso nôl, welcome back to Clancy's Kitchen, the podcast. And we're very happy to have an old friend with us here on the podcast today. Our old friend Dan O'Sullivan from Dunmanway, County Cork. Dan, céad míle fáilte.
Thank you very much indeed, Róisín, and thank you for having me.
We're delighted to have you. So, Dan, you were, of course, a great friend of my father, Bobby Clancy, and the Clancys. We'll get to that in a moment. Tell us first, so Dan, you hail from Dunmanway, County Cork.
Well, originally a place called Capeen, Róisín.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And I immigrated to Dunmanway in the late 90s, which is about 10 miles away, you know.
Oh, it's about 10 miles away, is it?
From where I grew up, yes.
Yeah. So what kind of a place is Dunmanway? And the reason I ask, I know we were there many years ago. We were out that night in a place called Dripsy, and we had a few jochines, I think. So my memory would be a bit fuzzy. But you know the amazing thing, Dan, and I say you experience this yourself. When you go to the States and you ask people, you know, about their Irish connections, they always cite Cork, County Cork. My people hail from County Cork.
Well, I didn't know that.
Didn't
Róisín.
you? No, yeah.
That's great news.
Yeah. and I wondered, now this is going back in the day, and I wondered, was it because, of course, you know, post-famine and post-famine times that people left in the boat from Cove to sail across?
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Dunmanway. What kind of a place is it?
Well, Dunmanway, I suppose it's a town in West Cork that it's only about a half an hour from all the other towns.
Right.
Like there's Macroom, Clonakilty, Bantry, Skibbereen. That's just to name but a few, but just a half hour from, from other towns, which is central. I suppose it's a quite little town, or it used to be up to now anyway. But like all of Ireland, I suppose it's getting busier and busier, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Dan, music was always going to be music for you, wasn't it?
I think so,
Yes.
Róisín, even that I did a lot of other jobs along the way because I had to.
Don't we all? Yeah.
And I grew up, there was just three of us in the family. I was the youngest, you know, and sadly I'm the last one left now. But I grew up in a little household, I suppose, of my father was a singer, my mother was a singer, just at home. My father was a musician in that he played the single or a melodeon, as they call it at the time.
Yeah.
And so did my mum. And they both had a great collection of songs. And then we had an old wind-up gramophone. That's the way I remember my childhood. Mm-hmm. And I still have some of those 78s from John McCormack to the McNulty family to all that.
Yeah.
But then when the transistor came into the house, I was about 6 or 7, I suppose. And it was as if it opened a new world. The Clancy brothers and Tommy Makem and Bobby and Peg. And
do you remember listening to them on the radio?
Absolutely.
Do you?
Yeah. This was, to me, this was an all new exciting sound, you know.
Okay.
So, that's wonderful times, you know. Yeah.
And then you started playing music yourself. So what was the first, did you start on the guitar, Dan, or what was the first instrument you started on?
The first instrument I started in Róisín was the single row accordion.
Right,
I learned to play a few tunes on that. But then when I got more familiar with the Clancys and folk music, I said, I'd like some of that, you know. So,
yeah.
But I was 21 when I got to learn the guitar.
Yes.
Lack of opportunities, I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a household where there was music. Would people come in? Would there be sessions kind of, or was it just amongst your family or neighbours or?
I think, Róisín, it was mostly amongst the family at home. Mind you, there might be people passing to the pub in Capeen and they might come in and join the sing-song the odd time, but it was mostly amongst ourselves. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And was it a case, as it often was, I suppose, Dan, back then, that, and people find this strange to believe sometimes when someone passed away, and of course, you know, depending on the age of the person and the circumstances around it. But I even remember myself, funerals were a big occasion for me, obviously weddings and birthdays, but people like outside of Ireland sometimes find that an unusual tradition, that at funerals, at somebody's wake, that there is a big singing and music session. Was that the case for you? Do you remember that growing up?
I suppose it was more, sadly, in my case and down where I came from, it was more of a mournful thing, you know.
Was it?
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I remember my grandfather passed, and again, he was, it was sudden, but he'd had such an eventful life, and he wasn't a bad age, I suppose you could say, and neighbours and people, I mean, it went on for about 3 days, I think, the wake, the singing and all the rest of it. So there you go.
That's interesting, yeah.
But Dan, you were saying you were about 21 thereabouts when you took up the guitar?
When I took up the guitar, yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And tell us about that. I mean, what were your influences there? Who did you sort of aspire to, let's say?
Well, I suppose, again, it all came back to the Clancys and Tommy Makem, and I've learned in recent years that I was in good company, because I've heard people like Christy Moore and Johnny McAvoy saying that they'd never be singing, only for the Clancys and Tommy Makem.
Isn't that amazing? Yeah.
And Peggy and Bob, of course,
yes.
probably.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, sure, they were the first, weren't they?
They were. Yeah. Well, I suppose to do, and we've said this a few times on Clancy's Kitchen, that, you know, that singing, playing music, it was always there. It was always part of our tradition in Ireland. I suppose they did things a little differently.
Yes.
And it was interesting. I was listening to, it would have been Liam's 90th birthday recently, I think last week or so. And there was a programme on the Bowman show, The Archives, and there was an interview there with Liam on there. And again, it reminded me of the fact that they never had this intention to be singers, musicians per se. Yeah. They went out to New York to act. That's what they wanted to do. Or his brothers, Paddy and Tom, went ahead of him. My father, Bobby, came back to run the insurance business, and he sent Liam out in his wake. Actually, thinking about it now, I mentioned Cove earlier. I remember my father saying, I remember well, you know, he encouraged Liam to go off out and experience a bit of the world, if you like. He'd up to that point kind of a sheltered life, I suppose, with his parents in Carrick-on-Shore. Yes. And he sent him off on the boat from Cork. So it was obviously before commercial flights, you know, it became a thing that people would still leave on the boat. And he said, I remember the sight of him going off, and I gave him my overcoat, and he said, I saw him boarding, you know, the ship to take him across the Atlantic to New York, and big shoulders, kind of the coat was too big for him, and these big shoulders, and little did he know what awaited him on the other side. But the idea was that they would be actors, and then opportunities arose, and they realised singing songs would, you know, get them a bit of money, and, you know, get a bit of interest from the women as well, and they thought it was a good idea, and one thing led to the next, and next thing they were on the Ed Sullivan Show. But the intention wasn't necessarily to be singers, and he explained that once they started singing, they weren't really, they didn't take it that seriously. So they weren't that nervous or uptight about it. They sang the songs that they had heard growing up, and they gave them oomph. They put the oomph into them and brought it to light.
I think Liam said that, didn't he? That the acting and the theatre scene they had to take really seriously. And then the actual singing late at night in these theatres was almost like a release. We could be ourselves now, you know, because these were songs of home. They'd lived and they grew up with them. Yeah. So they felt relaxed doing those songs. And I wonder if that
we're familiar
came
with.
over, you know, to an audience. Yes. They were so comfortable with it, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I suppose the theatrical background that they had really married in beautifully with the music then, because their poetry and reciting poetry and everything with the songs, you know.
Yeah. And again, that wasn't really done. That, mingling the songs and the ballad tradition and the folk singing with poetry and with literature.
Yes, it was incredible. The whole package was.
Yeah, absolutely,
absolutely incredible.
We'll talk more about this. I think it'd be lovely to hear a song from you at this point, Dan, if you're willing to sing one for us.
Okay, we'll do Róisín, yeah.
What will you give us?
What would you like me to sing?
Anything at all, whatever you like yourself.
Oh, okay, right. I hope this is in tune.
Sounding good.
Sounding good.
that's thanks, Raylan. Thanks, Róisín. What about the band played Waltzing Matilda?
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Will we do a bit of it or all of it?
That sounds...
Yes.
Sing away. That's beautiful.
I first heard this song when Liam sang it in the Cork Opera House, I suppose, back in 1977.
77.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now when I was a young man, I carried me pack, and I lived the free life of the rover. From the Murray's green basin to the dusty outback, I waltzed my Matilda all over. Then in 1915, my country said, son, it's time to stop rambling, there's work to be done. So they gave me a tin hat and they gave me a gun, and they sent me away to the war. And the band played Waltzing Matilda as the ship pulled away from the quay. And amid all the tears, flag waving and cheers, we sailed off for Gallipoli. Well, I remember that terrible day when our blood stained the sand and the water, and how in that hell that they call Suvla Bay, we were butchered like lambs at the slaughter. Johnny Turkey was ready, oh, he primed himself well. He rained us with bullets and he showered us with shell, and in 5 minutes flat we were all blown to hell. Nearly blew us back home to Australia. And the band played Waltzing Matilda when we stopped to bury our slain. And we buried ours, and the Turks buried theirs. Then it started all over again. Those who were living just tried to survive in that mad world of blood, death and fire. And for 10 weary weeks I kept myself alive, though around me the corpses piled higher. Then a big Turkish shell knocked me arse overhead, and when I awoke in my hospital bed and saw what it had done, and I wished I were dead. I never knew there were worse things than dying. For no more I'll go waltzing Matilda all around the green bush, far and near. For a hump tent and pegs, a man needs both legs. No more waltzing, Matilda, from me. They collected the wounded, the crippled, the maimed, and they shipped us back home to Australia. The armless, the legless, the blind and the insane, those proud wounded heroes of Suvla. And when the ship pulled into Circular Quay, I looked at the place where my legs used to be, and thanked Christ there was no one there waiting for me. To grieve and to mourn and to pity. And the band played Waltzing, Matilda, as they carried us down the gangway. But nobody cheered, they just stood there and stared. Then they turned all their faces away. So now, every April, I sit on my porch and I watch the parade pass before me. And I see my old comrades, how proudly they march, renewing their dreams of past glory. I see the old men, all tired, stiff and sore, the weary old heroes of a forgotten war. And the young people ask, what are they marching for? And I ask myself the same question. And the band plays Waltzing, Matilda, and the old men still answer the call. But year after year, the numbers get fewer. Someday no one will march there at all. Waltzing, Matilda, waltzing, Matilda, who'll come a-waltzing, Matilda, with me. And their ghosts may be heard as they march by Billabong. Who'll come a-waltzing, Matilda, with me.
Oh, Dan. Our house.
Thank you very much,
Falling.
Thank you very
Absolutely
much.
beautiful.
It's so emotional.
Isn't it? I
you
know,
very
Just
you've
made me think.
tears. Oh.
You know, we've heard Liam,
Yeah.
but I have to say you've made that your own.
Thanks
You
very
know?
much.
It's obvious that it's been passed to you.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of folk singing is people can make the songs their own thereafter, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
And Dan, you sang that with such
Thank you very much.
heart and such pathos.
And you're very kind for saying that. But I've never heard anyone singing it as good as Liam, I think. you know.
Which it's an Eric Bogle song,
Eric
isn't that
Bogle
right?
song, yeah. Eric
Written
Bogle's.
about the part, I guess, Australians played in the
Yes.
First World War, which was absolutely, as we know, so tragic.
Oh my God, yeah. And I suppose it is probably one of the great anti-war songs. of our
Yes,
time.
yeah.
And God knows we need anti-war songs in the world more than we ever did, I suppose.
Absolutely.
We do.
And you know what's interesting? I remember one of the girls, actually, Rayland, I think they studied that or they listened to it as part of their history course, you know, on I guess it must have been the Leaving Cert curriculum. And I'm so glad that they did, because there's something about the lived experience that comes through that song, the horrors of war,
Absolutely.
the devastation of war, and it runs, doesn't it, the gamut of, you know, the patriotism at the beginning of young boys. You know, when you see those pictures, you know, of young men that were setting out before they went, I suppose, especially the First World War, because they didn't have anything to compare it
No
with
reference
as such.
point. You know,
Yeah.
they think it was gallant
heroes.
and brave and almost romantic.
They were going on this adventure and their fight for
Into
country and
one of the worst wars ever.
yes,
It was pretty horrific, wasn't it?
absolutely. But what comes through in the song is that the patriotism at the beginning, going off to fight for your country, and then the horrors, the reality of what war entailed,
Absolutely, yeah.
and seeing it and experiencing it and being there, and then the aftermath of what you have to deal with, and that, you know, as it comes through in that song, and the young people ask, what are they marching for? And I ask myself the same question. What was it all for?
And it seems ironic, but is it something greater than that, that in true horror, some of the great art comes out of it in songs? And also, if you think of the First World War, some of the greatest war poetry by people like Wilfred Owen. Our daughter Mivy was studying Dolce et Decorum Est, and it's such a powerful
Do you remember
poem.
any of the lines in it?
Well, I look it up.
Do.
Yeah, give me a second.
Be lovely, Rayland. Yeah.
Because again, it's, you know, from those who have experienced it, who have been there, who lived through it. Like, history can record what happens and give us the facts.
Yeah.
But that is the beauty, isn't it, sometimes, Dan, of folk singing and ballad singing.
It really tells the story.
It tells the story, and it paints the picture of what people experienced.
And the man that the song is about, his legs were blown off, but it was the story of countless thousands at least, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Their
absolutely.
limbs blown off.
Yeah.
Pretty horrific, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
When will they
I
ever
have
learn?
it
Do you
here.
have it? Go on, give us a few lines, Rayland.
Well, I haven't recited this before, but I'll give it a go. Dulce et decorum est. Bent double like old beggars under sacks, knock-kneed, coughing like hags, we cursed through the sludge. Till on the haunting flares we turned our backs, and towards our distant rest began to trudge. Men marched asleep. Many had lost their boots, but limped on bloodshod. All went lame, all blind, drunk with fatigue, deaf even to the hoots of gas shells dropping softly behind.
Wow.
Gas, gas. Quick, boys, an ecstasy of fumbling, fitting the clumsy helmets just in time. But someone still was yelling, and stumbling, and floundering, like a man in fire or lime. Dim through the misty panes and thick green light, as under a green sea, I saw him drowning. In all my dreams before my helpless sight, he plunges at me, guttering, choking, drowning. If in some smothering dreams you too could pace behind the wagon that we flung him in, and watched the white eyes writhing in his face, his hanging face, like a devil's sick of sin. If you could hear at every jolt the blood come gurgling from the froth-corrupted lungs, bitten as the cud of vile, incurable sores of innocent tongues, my friend, you would not tell with such high zest to children ardent for some desperate glory the old lie. Dulce et decorum est, pro patria mori. It's some poem, isn't it?
Oh. My God, you're in the trenches with them, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, it's, and that is the beauty, I suppose, of art. It's the beauty of literature, of poetry, of singing. Absolutely. It really
and Dulce,
makes it real, doesn't it?
It actually means it is sweet and proper or fitting to die for one's country.
Yeah.
But in that romance, nobody knows, you know. Wilfred Owen talks about the horror of this young man who didn't get the gas mask and what that gas did to them. Yeah. So it's so important in poetry and, you know, in those songs to hear that now today from you, Dan, you go, wow, it's important that we still sing these songs.
And I'm thinking even in terms of social history, you know, I'm thinking of songs like The Rocks of Bawn, which you've referred to before, I think, Reland. And
Liam actually said once, you get in folk songs the things that you don't find in history books even, because it comes from the mouths of the people.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that was about a man who he knew once his shoes gave out, he would no longer be able to plough
the rocks
of Bawn. That's right. Do you know, incredible, isn't it?
We're getting quite deep now.
We should cheer up a little bit here, though. Eh? My father was here now. He'd go, Jesus, lads, you're putting years on me. You'd cheer up, for God's sake.
I can hear him say.
But speaking of which, Dan, you wrote to my father, Bobby Clancy. Is that right?
Indeed, yes.
Well, tell us about that. How did that come about?
Well, I'd known very well, of course, of Bobby and Peg, and I remember their songs in the 60s as well, and so it was probably around December 1983 that Bobby appeared. I would say he probably appeared on a lot of American TV shows, but I see him in RTE and one of these archive programs, and I thought he was absolutely amazing, you know. So I said, geez, I'll write to Bobby. Maybe he is in Carrick-on-Suir. I didn't know where he was. So I wrote to Bobby anyway, and how impressed I was and how I'd love to meet him. And I got back a lovely Christmas card just before Christmas, thanking me for all the great compliments I'd paid him, which he deserved, and etc. And my party deserved it anyway so much. And and of course he said, to be lovely to meet you, and come to Carrick any time. So it was the following summer then, I suppose, I got to Carrick and just took a spin around, and I called in to Carrick, and he was doing up the house at home.
Okay.
Do you remember that, Róisín? I think the rest of you were in Ring or something.
Oh, right, yes.
And so we had a great chat out in the front office, and he was apologetic that the house was all ripped up. I said it was only passing through anyway. So I called again, I suppose, in 1985, the year after, and he took me to a place called Tullahocht.
Ah, Tullahocht.
Yeah.
County Kilkenny, but just outside of Carrick.
Yeah, a great haunt.
Yes.
That's right indeed, Rayland, And Margaret and Jim Power, wasn't it?
That's right, I remember it well.
Oh, we had a fun night, we had great crack.
And just maybe to paint the picture for people, right, because sadly we you know, these country pubs are dying out now by the day, aren't they, in Ireland?
Sadly,
But this pub was in a place, as we say, Tullahocht, and it was kind of a shop, a grocer shop and a pub kind of thing all in one. And there was a couple there. You mentioned Margaret Power and her brother.
Her brother Jim.
And there was a room at the back, and I remember even. I mean, again, people don't do this anymore. But as teenagers, that was kind of the highlight of our week. That going out with my father to these country pubs, and one of his favourite places was Tullahocht, and the welcome he'd get there, and people would file in at the beginning of the evening. Before people had a drop or so, there'd be a bit of maybe, anticipation of what's going to happen here now. And, then sure enough, Daddy'd start the session, and he'd always invite other people to join in. And then people would have their little party piece, or, their contribution to the evening. Might be a song, might be a poem or a piece of music. And they were really special, weren't they, Dan? Those sessions.
Absolutely, yeah. And Margaret, God rest her, would have the crew beans after the.
And again, for those that don't know, because we have audience in America and across the world now at this stage. Yes. And crew beans, for those who don't know, are pigs' trotters.
It's right.
A delicacy.
A delicacy. You might find a tiny slither of meat amongst all the fat, if you were lucky. And you get a box of steaming crew beans coming home at the end of the night, wouldn't you?
That's right. And Bobby used to bring them in the spare ribs as well, I remember.
That's it. Have a feast when you got home. But you were saying, Dan, so you were up in Tullahocht. This was your introduction to Tullahocht.
Oh, well, it was, Bobby took me to Tullahocht, and so the characters there around the fire, I'd better not mention any names. But
yes.
There was a lot of guys, probably God loved them in their 80s at the time, but it was so enjoyable to meet these people and have the crack,
And there was a canary, wasn't there? Wasn't there a bird cage with a canary in it?
I don't remember.
I think there was at some point. Yeah, the canary would sing along in the sessions.
Right. I don't remember that now, Róisín, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But to go back to swing the tape back in my head, as they say, a little bit. That was the first time that I went to Carrick that you were all there, and your mum, God rest her, Myra, and your dad. And sure, the welcome, Bobby nearly broke my arm at the door welcoming me to Carrick. I remember that. And your mum was so welcoming, such a great host, and, I'll never forget it. I couldn't believe, sure, who was I? Just an unknown fella from Cork, but they were so welcoming, And,
it's lovely to hear that.
And
it went from there. Go on, Dan. So it went. That was the start of things, and then you ended up performing with Daddy. Who did you perform with of the Clancys in the end? I know Daddy was one of them, Bobby, and who else was there?
Well, it would be Bobby all the time. I would have met Liam down in Ring through Bobby as well, and actually it will be. Tomorrow's the 8th of September, is it?
It is.
Yeah. It's 40 years tomorrow night. I remember, no, I'm 99% sure, if my memory is not playing tricks on me, that it was the only time I saw the 4 Clancy brothers performing. I think it was a place called the Lions Club or something in Clonmel.
Oh,
and I think
Clonmel, County Tipperary. Yeah, just down the road from Carrick.
Down the road from Carrick. And in fairness to them, it was for a good cause at the time. It was a charity thing. Right. And I can't remember what the actual thing was. Was it for a place, a GAA thing, or was it an old folks' home or something?
Okay, I know they did a number of charity gigs like that around, especially close to home, I guess.
Yeah. So, it's amazing that was the 8th of September 1985. That just dawned on me on my way down today,
Yes.
The memories.
And that was the first time you saw them all playing live together, was it, Dan?
Well, the 4 brothers,
Four brothers. So there was Tom, Paddy, Liam and Bobby.
Yes. Yeah, and
before Robbie O'Connell joined them, then there was
I think Robbie at the time was playing with them in America with Paddy.
Okay, yeah.
Tom and Bobby and Robbie, and Liam was with Tommy Makem at that time.
That's right, yeah.
And and there was a great session, or a great kind of a party thing. I remember at the back after, I have photographs at home somewhere, and it was the only time I met Tom.
Yes.
Your Uncle Tom, and lovely man, and
great character.
Yes.
We had Joan, Tom's wife, Joan, on the podcast a little while ago.
She's a lovely
and,
lady.
but the stories were
I enjoyed
so
that.
interesting.
I saw that. I enjoyed it so much,
Yeah.
Absolutely, But sadly, I didn't get the chance to meet Tom any more than Tom passed at a young age, Yeah. But he was a lovely, lovely, lovely man. But Bobby would be the one I'd have met most in the sessions and the crack. And, And
then where did you perform then with Bobby thereafter?
I suppose, he came to West Cork, I think, in 87. And I used to be telling him about Cape Clear and the madness over there, Jesus, I shouldn't be saying it.
The crack that was to be had.
We
say
like
madness. It's a badge of honour in Ireland, isn't it? We're all cracked or a bit mad, and it's that's the way we are. Yeah.
I had gigged down there, and I was telling Bobby about it, and he said, "Geez, I'd go there for the crack," and I thought he was joking me.
Oh no, sure, Daddy'd go anywhere for the hell of it. Yeah.
So he came down anyway, and there was this little pub in a place called Kilmurray that I used to play in on Thursday nights. So Bobby gigged there. It was the Easter Saturday, I think. He didn't gig there. He just sat around, and we had a sing song. And I was trying to keep it quiet, but the word got out that he was coming, and there were cars nearly parked from all the way from Kilmurray down to the main road, nearly back to Macroom. The place was just, people couldn't get in there when they'd heard he was there. But we had a great night. And the following day, then we took the boat to Cape Clear. And sure, he did a great gig there. I think Barry and Morris were... Barry and Morris were with him that time.
Yeah,
And they gigged in Cape Clear, and I would have gone on before them.
Barry played the mandolin, probably, wasn't it? And Morris sang,
And Morris sang and played the bodhrán.
Yeah, that's right.
And we came from Cape Clear then to a place called Ballylickey.
Oh, yes.
And they gigged there, that was a good old gig, a good place. And of course, the lads did a great, Bobby and the boys did a great show there, Yeah. So, and I remember the day after then when Bobby was leaving, he was a great character, as you know well. And he said, "Right, lads, no crying now,
We'll be back.
We'll be back. That's right, yeah.
So, I mean... for you to have written to my father, having seen it, what was it about the Clancys for you, Dan, that inspired you so much, or made you want to meet them, and what was it all about?
I just was, I suppose, really taken with them, their personalities, their ways of performing, the poetry, their ways on stage. There was much more to it than singing, Yeah. I mean, they were all great singers, but there was a lot more to it than that.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of layers to it, really, and my way of thinking, So,
and I guess their enjoyment in it as well.
Yes, their enjoyment in it. Yeah, absolutely. Was it Bob Dylan said it wasn't so much the singing, it was the look in their eyes or something, which I thought was put very well.
Yes.
They had something in their eyes.
That's right. Yeah.
Basically saying, I know something that you don't.
That's it. That's right.
So, Dan, it'd be lovely to hear one of the songs maybe that you picked up from my father, from the Clancys as well. I know you sang one there that Liam sang.
Yeah.
Maybe one that Bobby sang, or
Bobby, of course. I'll do one of Bobby's. The thing about Bobby was he was a great pub performer as well as a theatre performer,
Yeah.
And I think he was the same wherever you met him,
Absolutely, and he loved other people to join in.
That's right.
And take part in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I remember that night I heard him singing this song in Tullahocht. I hope I can remember it now.
Oh, don't worry.
We'll
sing along if we know it.
You'll help me along anyway, Róisín and Ryland. 7 days are in a week in almost every circumstance.
It's been years since I heard this.
4 seasons in the year, that's what we learned at school. But never count your chickens when you're dealing with the women. Or as many's the wise man fell asleep and wakened up the fool.
Lovely, Dan.
It was my life story at the time. The first time I met my love, 'twas on a Monday morning. The second time I met her, it was Tuesday afternoon. When she kissed me on a Wednesday, I couldn't wait for Thursday. But I can tell you now, me boys, that Thursday never came. 7 days are in a week in almost every circumstance. 4 seasons in the year, that's what we learned at school. But never count your chickens when you're dealing with the women. For there's many's the wise man fell asleep and wakened up the fool. Seven days are in a week in almost every circumstance. 4 seasons in the year, that's what we learned at school. But never count your chickens when you're dealing with the women. For there's many's the wise man fell asleep and wakened up the fool. I know there's another verse and I couldn't think of it.
Brilliant. Oh, it's been years since I heard
Brings you back,
that.
doesn't it?
Where's that come from, I wonder, that song? Or what's the story
I'm
behind
not
it?
sure
Yeah.
where it came from.
Yeah.
He had a store of songs, though, didn't he?
Bobby had songs that,
He loved the fun songs.
That's
He,
right,
There was
yeah.
a whole album, wasn't there, with the kind of, what was the blackbird
Or the
one?
Blackbird.
And the little blackbird, and she hanging upside down.
That's
Do you
right.
remember that one?
I do. Yeah.
There was a load of kind of fun songs. Or,
Yeah.
Amazing, yeah.
what was it, Peggy Hogan's Goose, or what was that one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Nancy Hogan's Goose, that was it.
right.
Rollicking Nancy Hogan's Goose, yeah. He had a load of fun songs.
Oh, he was unique,
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
He was,
yeah.
you know.
Well, they were great collectors of songs,
Yes,
you know.
yeah.
And I think that was one of his favourite things to do, actually, was going around and collecting songs in, again, all the old pubs, all the old haunts, or where else would you hear these songs? And I think you were with him, Raylan, shortly before he died, and you went to a place here up in Mill Street. We might have talked about this before. But
I
you
have
said
mentioned
the
it in a
session
place
was
called,
mighty.
well, it was almost prophetic, I suppose, because he only had a matter of weeks. But he came out with songs that night that I'd never heard him sing. It was like, I'm going to give everything an airing tonight in this tiny pub cum shop in Mill Street called O'Brien's. I'll never forget it. I can remember the smell, the atmosphere, and he gave it his all till about 4 in the morning.
And wasn't there a story there? He sang a song. He said, I remember being in this pub, what was it, 30 years prior or something like that?
Well, the memory of that night was older than myself, and he remembered a song called Cock Robin.
That was it.
And there was a man there who had lost his brother, I think, and this song was
I think
strongly...
it was his father, no? Was it his father?
I think
anyway.
it was associated with him, and
Yeah,
he hadn't heard the song for those many years. And then suddenly Bobby comes out with it. It was an incredible night, really.
And he actually had a recording of it, because one of the things he would do as well, you know, when he went to these places, he'd record the songs.
Oh, yes.
And
yeah.
I think he actually had that song, the Cock Robin,
Yeah.
and he found the song and he came back to the pub. So Brian's, was it, in Mill Street?
And gave this
About
man
a week later
the
or so.
song.
And it was the only recording the family had of their family member, whether it was his father or his brother, singing this song, the Cock Robin. And it meant so much to them.
So many things came together. You know, it was some magic in the air that night. And I think we all experienced that magic, you know, with Bobby, because he had unique, you said it, talent to change a room, to orchestrate a session like no other.
Unbelievable, you know. I mean, he could go into a noisy pub, and I experienced this, and silence would fall on the place, you know. He'd start reciting or something, you know.
Yeah.
But you mentioned collecting there, Róisín. He was also the original collector of that song, Quare Bungle Rye, that just came to me now. Do you know, I think the Clancy brothers recorded it back in the 60s.
Do you know it? Do
and
you
the
play it?
Dubliners recorded it then, I think, yeah.
Do you sing it?
I can remember it, I think, if you like.
Go on, that'd be lovely, yeah.
The song was originally collected by your dad
Was
in
it?
Kilkenny. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, I met the man, well, he was an old man then, with Bobby, probably Tullahocht, as far as I remember, who gave Bobby the song, probably back in the 60s, Quare Bungle Rye. So Bobby gave it to the boys and they recorded it, and that's how.
I know the title of the song. Do you have a blast of it? Will you give us a taste of it?
Try it. I hope I can remember it now. But
Yeah, just to remind me. I know the name Quare Bungle Rye, but I know when you start playing it, it'll come back.
Now Jack was a sailor, he roamed down the town, and he met with a damsel who skipped up and down. Said the damsel to Jack, as she passed him by, would you care for to purchase some Quare Bungle Rye Raddy Rye? Fall the diddle rye raddy rye raddy rye. Said Jack to himself, now what can this be but the finest old whiskey from far Germany? Wrapped up in a basket and sold on the sly, and the name that it goes by is Quare Bungle Rye Raddy Rye. Fall the diddle rye raddy rye raddy rye. Jack gave her £1, and he thought nothing strange. She said, hold now the basket till I run for your change. He took a look in the basket. A child.
Go on.
Quare Bungle
Make it up.
Rye Raddy Rye. Fall the diddle rye raddy rye raddy rye. To get the child christened was Jack's next attempt, and to get the child christened to the parson he went. Said the parson to Jack, now what will he go by? I'll be damned now, says Jack, call it Quare Bungle Rye Raddy Rye. Fall the diddle rye raddy rye raddy rye. Fall the diddle rye raddy rye raddy rye. Sorry about forgetting it.
Not at all. That's brilliant. Oh my God. That was great. Great crack. It came back to me as you started singing it, actually. I mean, there's so many songs. So many songs when you look through the albums.
Yeah.
Dan, you are, of course, a beautiful, as well as being a beautiful singer, but you are a beautiful songwriter as well.
Oh, I don't know if I'm a beautiful songwriter, but I try anyway.
I can tell you are. So, actually, I remember on our wedding day, back in May 1999. And we had an almighty, we're married, as you remember, up in the church here in Ring.
Indeed,
and the reception in the Park Hotel in Dungarvan. And then we had the mother of all sessions out in Mooney's pub afterwards. And I remember you being there that day, Dan, and singing a song. Now, I can't recall, was it one of your own songs, but you dedicated a song to us that day, I remember.
Yes, I'll tell you now, the song was called Róisín, but I didn't write it.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Oh, and now, do you know what, it's coming back to me now. Daddy made this big introduction. Dan has written this song and it's called Róisín and then it was like, well, actually, Bobby, I didn't write this song at all. Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
I don't know if I can. I actually learned it specially for the wedding. I don't know if I can remember it.
Well, you don't have to play that. Play one of your own. I'd rather hear one of your own songs.
Are you serious? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. So tell us about, where did you get the inspiration from? I know you look to the Clancy brothers and Tommy Make. I mean, you mentioned Christy Moore there. Yes. Who else would have been your influences or inspired you to?
Well, I suppose I like the Dubliners very much as well, and Luke Kelly and all that back in the day. All the folk scene, really. Yeah. Ryan's Fancy was another band.
Oh, yes.
That your uncles would have worked with, and the Irish Rovers and people like that, your dad and your uncles. Yeah. And all the folk scene, really, I loved it. And
so this is one of, you're going to give us, I'm going to twist your arm to give us one of your own songs.
Okay. So We mentioned Dulan earlier on there, and Eddie Dillon writing about Tommy McGann and stuff.
Yes. And just to make reference to that, so Eddie Dillon, beautiful singer, songwriter, guitarist, performer, and he played with the Clancys throughout the years as well.
Absolutely.
I think in the latter years with my father Bobby and Finbar, Robbie O'Connell, Eddie Dillon played with them, and with my sister Aoife,
with
so
Aoife
a great
as well.
family friend as well.
Absolutely, yeah. So this song is called Dulan by the Sea. It's a song that I wrote a way back. It was a time that myself and another guy went to Listowel Varna when we were sort of young-ish.
For the Fla, was it for the Fla?
Well, looking for girls, I suppose, the romantic festival up there. And we got kind of bored with it, so we went over to Dulan, and there was some real music, we'll say, being played in Dulan. But we went into a restaurant, I remember, and we met this group that were in a bus tour over here, and there was a lovely girl from Scotland, and I had a great chat with her, and she was a lovely singer, and it started a beautiful romance which lasted about 2 hours. She was gone.
Like a dream, a vision that happened.
Right.
And yes.
I think I probably dreamt it at this stage.
It's a bit like the poem, isn't it? The O'Driscoll.
The host of the air.
The host of the air, yes.
That's
yes,
right.
yes. She was gone in a drifting smoke.
You have it. I could recite that before at some time. Yeah. But I don't know, the song sort of wrote itself, I suppose. I'm not a prolific songwriter or anything like that.
Go on out of that now.
The greatest inspiration that ever came to me was a girl I met in Dulan by the sea. Her dark hair and her laughing eyes shine slow as we laughed and sang sweet love songs, a fond kiss forevermore. Come back to me, my darling girl, I'll meet you anywhere. We'll laugh and we'll sing love songs like we did in County Clare. But the water that flows beneath the bridge will ne'er come back again. Some magical experience, just a moment in time, not meant to last forever, like the snows of yesteryear. Like that happy night in Dulan by the sea. Come back to me, my darling girl, I'll meet you anywhere. We'll laugh and we'll sing love songs like we did in County Clare. Come back to me, my darling girl, I'll meet you anywhere. We'll laugh and we'll sing love songs like we did in County Clare.
Oh, Halling. Oh, that is beautiful.
Thank
you very much, Róisín and Raylan.
We said at the beginning about, we were talking about the war songs, so you're right there with them. And I felt like I was right there with you in that pub in Dulan,
Thank
County
you,
Clare.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful love song.
Yeah.
Dan, it's just been absolutely our joy and our delight and our privilege to have you in Clancy's Kitchen with us today. We could keep talking about, there are so many more stories and encounters that you had to share with us. So you're going to have to come back and tell us more.
Sometimes,
Please do.
Please God, Róisín.
Yeah.
Please God. And it's just been an absolute privilege to be here with you both as well. And thank you very much for having me. It's a humbling experience.
The pleasure is all
much.
ours, Dan.
Thanks very
Thank
much.
you so much.
Róisín and Rayland.
Oh, thank you. Well, that's it on Clancy's Kitchen for today. I hope you enjoyed listening to the beautiful voice and the stories here told by our good friend Dan O'Sullivan. Join us again on Clancy's Kitchen. Remember to like and subscribe, and please look up www.patreon.com/Clancy's Kitchen, as always, to enable us to make more podcasts. Slán go fóill.